live on ZTV. I'm Jess Buchanan, and each month we partner with the Zebra Press to talk about issues impacting the Alexandria, Virginia community. And like our weekly podcast, We Should Talk About That, we hope to create community and connection through this conversation. And since this show is live, please feel free to join the conversation in the comments. And we will try to get to all of your comments and questions throughout this show.
I'm Jessica Kidwell, the Jess K of the two Jesses from We Should Talk About That.
And this month, we are highlighting a subject that is near and dear to the heart of the founder of the Zebra, Mary Wadland. In April of 2020, Mary quickly realized that the pandemic was going to severely impact local Alexandria restaurants and businesses. And because Mary is totally focused on all things Alexandria, she quickly got to work. So to celebrate 1 year of Alexandria Curbside Dining, please welcome the founder of the Zebra, Mary Wadland. Mary, hi.
Hi, thank you guys for having me.
We're so happy to have you in front of the camera this time around.
It's kind of fun to be here. It's great. Thank you.
You're always commenting during the show, so now you actually can comment on the show.
I try to watch every show that we do.
That's amazing. I mean, how many shows ZTV put out?
Well, we put out a show every night, Monday through Thursday at 7 o'clock.
Wow.
And they vary in topics from music to books to DIY to you guys to legal matters. And so it's interesting. I learn a lot. But I'm always in the background with the comments, you know, the sound isn't right. Do this, do that. And so it's awesome to be here and see the lights and the whole setup and see how you guys do it. And we're so happy to have you guys as a regular feature.
We have lots of fun. We love a live show. And speaking of sound, we are hopeful that third time is the charm.
Okay, that's right.
And we are sounding great to all of you out there today.
I hope so too. Hope everybody
let
can
us
hear
know in the comments.
Yeah,
if
let us
not,
know
because
for sure.
Mary's not there to run text and she's on the show.
Right,
so.
right. So Mary, let's talk about the generation of the idea to use the Zebra's Facebook page to kind of do a rallying call to help out the local restaurants and businesses in the Alexandria area. It started April last year, right?
It started April 1, 2020, and it was no April Fools. You know, at first I thought people are going to think it's a joke. I had never thought about having a group as a tangential part of the Zebra Press Facebook page. It never occurred to me. But what was happening, we had been in shutdown, I want to say a couple of weeks, 3 weeks. And a lot of our loyal advertisers were contacting me and saying, Mary, we're going to be having, we're just trying to adapt to this whole curbside world because a lot of the restaurants were not even set up for to go at all. And so I would get calls from my customers saying, can you put a thing on your page that we're going to now be offering to go? And so we would put it on our page. And that was happening, you know, over and over. And finally I thought, I don't know if this will work or not, but maybe if I have a group, then all of the restaurants can just go in there and they can post. It'd be like a giant chalkboard for the community, and people could put up their specials. And then there were a lot of people who wanted to help the restaurants because nationwide it was Save Our Restaurants. There was this huge push. So it was a way for Alexandrians to give back. And there were a lot of them that every single night they'd go to a different restaurant. And it just took off from there. And I mean, within the first month, I think we had over 2,500 members or something like that. So, and now we're just about to crest over 13,000.
My hope is that by the end of this show tonight, so many people are going to invite their friends to join the group that we will get you over to that 13,000. How does one invite people? If you are already a member of the group, it's public, so you don't have to get approved to be in it, but just finding it is half the battle. So how do people find this particular group on Facebook?
Well, when you're on Facebook, you just go to the search window like you're looking up anything, and you look up Alexandria Curbside Dining, and it'll take you right to the page. And like you said, it's a public page, and so anybody can see anything they want to see. But if you want to join and be part of it and be posting and all sorts of different extra things, you just join right at the top, and you do have to answer some questions. And this is to keep out some people that you don't, that are kind of scammers. I have to say, that's one of the risks of internet life.
Like complainers, right?
Yes.
People who just wanna
So you
start
have to,
activity.
right. So you have to answer some questions, basic things, just so we know that you actually know that you're in Alexandria. Like, name your favorite restaurant or a couple of things. And do you agree to stay positive? You have to say yes. If you don't say yes, then I kick them out.
What are some of the other
I
rules?
say no, you can't join.
I think
Yes.
Susan has put up a screen where the rules are. So it's stay positive. What else is important to you?
I hope I remember them all, but I won't remember them all. But the basic thing is stay positive. We are not a Yelp. This is not a Yelp. So, and particularly when Curbside first started, people were trying to get with the program, and they were trying to get their wait staff turned into delivery people and servers, and come out to the car, and the modern car hops, and it's a nightmare. So we did not want people at home going, well, I ordered from such and such a restaurant, but it took an hour and a half to get my stuff. And by the time it got, okay, those things happened. But what was wonderful about this community is that everybody said, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how great it was. We even got the food, and that we were able to, our dollars went to help somebody keep their job, and for somebody to keep their restaurant going. And that became the sentiment of the entire group. And if anybody did complain, a negative comment, this is a watchdog community amongst themselves. They immediately do a member report. I mean, people could say like anything, like, I don't like the color of that guy's awning. And then somebody's like, member report. And I go in there and go, comments out.
So you have a very loyal group, is what you're saying.
And it's not loyal to me. It's loyal to Alexandria. It's loyal to preserving the community of restaurants, small businesses, mom and pops, the things that make this city one of the top cities in the country, and people want to come. It's a food destination now.
Well, let's talk a little bit about
Yeah.
that, because we're discussing what we wanted to talk about on the show
Right.
tonight. You really educated me, because I would not, while I love food very much, and I love restaurants in Old Town especially, I'm not exactly a foodie. And you had so much awesome history. Can you share that with some of our viewers?
Well, I've been in this town since 1988. And when I first moved to Alexandria, there was literally a handful of what you would call your birthday anniversary type restaurants.
Okay.
The place you take mom on her Mother's Day, or you'd go to for Easter.
Like Landini.
And it was Landini's, it was Le Bergeret, it was Geronio's, who've now gone. It was Le Refuge. And I mean, it was a small, and then there were a bunch of other smaller restaurants, fun restaurants, Hard Times Cafe, Bugsy's, Joe Theismann's, things like that. But then the foodie craze started to happen in the mid 90s, somewhere in there. And then Cathal Armstrong opened up Restaurant Eve at some point there in the
We think 2004, I think.
I'm not sure exactly when he opened it, but when he opened that, it was a game changer in this town. I mean, you're talking about a 10, 12 tasting menu, course tasting menu, huge prices. And there was a waiting line. It was like Little Inn at Little Washington. And then the word was out. Okay, the market will sustain good food. There's enough to do it. Well, before you know it, we've got hundreds of great restaurants, and it's hard to decide where to go. And they're from all ranges, you know, and it's awesome. So now Alexandria Old Town is a food destination. People plan their vacations around it, real foodies, and they have tours. So before COVID, you could be living in Colorado and say, I want to go to Old Town on a foodie tour. And they would set you up for 3 or 4 days with restaurant after restaurant. That's all going to come back. It's a very strong town, and a lot of the restaurants, I mean, I would think 90% have made it through this, and it's going to be stronger and better than ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you feel like the Facebook group page is best utilized? I mean, yes, it's all positive, but I know I'm a heavy utilizer of the group, and I have learned about restaurants that I did not know existed, and I have lived here for 20 years. So it's been incredibly educational for me, and it has a search function, which I find incredibly helpful. Once you are a member of the group, when you go to the search function, if you are looking for wings, which, by the way, I am always looking for wings,
Right.
just FYI. If you're looking for wings, you can do that in the search, and any post or pictures of any mention of wings will come up. So how do you think people will utilize the group?
I will say I've been pushing people and trying to educate them on that search feature, and I would think that maybe 1 out of 50 actually know about it. What people do is, mostly, they do recommendations. It seems like you can sense from their posts, it's like they're flying in and they say, okay, my mother's coming to town, where can I find the best fettuccine Alfredo? And they just throw the question up there. And then within like 3 hours, there's 10 answers, there's 30 answers, and people are throwing up names of everything. And one thing is, you can tag the restaurants. If you know how to tag, social media tag, you can put an @ sign and the name of the restaurant and go make sure you're hitting the right one. And that restaurant then knows that you've mentioned them. A lot of times people don't remember to do that. So when I have 5 minutes, I'll go through the post and I'll do shout out to Hops and Shine, shout out to Cafe 44, if I see a comment about somebody that hasn't been tagged, just so that they see it. But mostly people ask for recommendations for things, the wildest things. I mean, the wildest things, names of food I've never seen before. So you do become educated.
You do. For instance, somebody posted recently about pierogies, and I was like, I had no idea there were so many options in this town for pierogies.
That's it.
I've been on it a lot today.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. And somebody was looking for a place that offers coffee flights, which I thought was super cool. And I also am a huge lover of Ethiopian food. So somebody had posted about a new Ethiopian restaurant. And then also it was, I realized this isn't just about food, but it's also like restaurants that offer like experiences or that have great patio seating, or maybe they've got live music and a list of the restaurants that have live music on the weekends. So it's really like a one-stop shop of your like dining experience.
It is. And that's the other thing. It's been 1 year that we've had this, and it was called Curbside. First started opening up, a lot of people mentioned and said, where can I find patio dining? And then people would jump in and say, well, this is only a curbside site. We're not talking about patio dining. And then I had to jump in and say, yes, we're talking about patio dining, because we're just letting the thing morph. It's about supporting the restaurants. So now the next thing is going to be, when people start going back in, they're going to want to know, where can I take my mom for Mother's Day that's inside, that I can get 10 people at a table, or that I can have this or that, live music. Yeah. So the group has every intention. I have every intention of keeping it. It clearly is a need for it in this community.
So the Washington Post has the Going Out Guide, which has always been one of my go-to places anytime I am looking for an experience or something in particular. But it's overwhelming because I'm not necessarily willing to drive all over the greater Washington, D.C. area. And I very much see this as a curated going out guide for Alexandria, Virginia, which is so, so helpful. And I think it's almost, we didn't know we needed it until I started benefiting from it. Yeah. Personally, personally benefiting from it.
And people do feel ownership to it. Like you said, it isn't about me. It's about community. It's like eBay. I mean, it is a self-policing community. And we do approve every post. And so you can know that, if anything, it's a safe place. It's always a safe place.
So when you talk about community and supporting the community, I do know, and I saw a post recently, that the Alexandria Scholarship Fund is currently doing a fundraiser where they are looking to have utilizers of the curbside dining and just Alexandria in general residents to purchase gift cards from Alexandria restaurants and then donate them to the Alexandria Scholarship Fund, which will then be auctioned off in a silent auction. And then that helps directly the students who benefit from the Alexandria Scholarship Fund. So it's grown into a way to help restaurants, but it's also growing into a way to just help the community.
It's morphing.
Yeah. And then in particular, the beneficiaries of this group have been some of the small businesses and restaurateurs in the area. I know that Jula Jane, who couldn't be here tonight, she actually sent us I believe she's the owner of Cafe 44, which Jess, you have an experience of Cafe 44 recently, right?
The only time I have been out
Oh, well,
with my husband. We celebrated our 12-year anniversary a couple weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Is it 12 years? I think so. Anyway, we went to Cafe 44 on recommendation, right? And it just felt like so surreal to be out at a restaurant. We were outside. We had a beautiful view of the river and of Alexandria. Delicious food, yummy drinks. Our server was so friendly, and we had the greatest conversation. At one point, it was really windy, so everything was like blowing away, and they moved us to another space. So it was just, awesome. I can't say enough good things about Cafe 44.
Did you have that quote
that Jula gave us? I think that I have it someplace.
Oh, here, I'll find it. Sorry.
She's
been up from the beginning, one of the supporters.
One of the questions we had asked was, how long have you been participating in Alexandria Curbside Dining? And she was like, since day one.
Yeah,
but she had some beautiful things.
The Alexandria Curbside Facebook group has been instrumental in helping Cafe 44 not only survive these challenging times, but thrive. I so appreciate the platform it provides for restaurants to connect with a like-minded audience in a beneficial way. I'm happy to be a curbside sponsor. Mary Wadland of Zebra has given so much to the restaurant community. I simply can't say enough great things about her. I'm a fan for life.
Oh, good.
Doesn't that feel good, huh?
Good. Well,
What a difference you're making.
I'm a fan for life of Cafe 44.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
So in addition to Cafe 44, we also invited two restaurateurs and small business owners to join us. Luckily, everyone is vaccinated. So despite the fact that I do love our branded We Sat.
Those are very fancy.
I know, they're so fancy, but it is hard to understand us when we're wearing them. So we are going to invite CJ Cross, the owner of Hops and Shine, to join us.
CJ's been there since day one, too.
And he will sit next to you, Mary, and then Tom Nayurgis, who is the co-owner of MB Bakery on the Go. CJ, that mic is for you, and Tom will sit beside you. And we, first of all, thank you so much on a Tuesday night to leave your restaurant, Hops and Shine, to be with us live on the show. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, definitely.
So CJ, can you talk a little bit about your experience with the Alexandria Curbside Dining and how it has helped you and your business kind of survive over the last year?
So Facebook groups like the Alexandria Curbside Dining have honestly been how we kept ourselves open. At Hops and Shine, we were kind of lucky. We already had an online ordering system put together. And one of the first weeks into it, I decided to do a family meal. And so I posted in my neighborhood group the first time. I live in Fairlington, right down the street. But when we started posting into the curbside group, we got such an amazing response. People who I never knew had ever been there, all talking about how great time they had, following up. They would ask questions, and the nice thing is because people would tag us, I would respond right away. And I very quickly learned that, by responding to people's questions as quick as possible, they became your customers. And it wasn't at first you were wondering, okay, are they just going to be people who, they post a picture once, you never see them again? No, these people were there on a weekly basis. I felt like during COVID, people actually started to develop a routine, and they were going to the same places over and over again. And so with our family meals we were doing every Thursday, I would see the same names on those orders coming up, and I would see them commenting on the Facebook posts in the curbside group. And so I actually developed a relationship with people, some of whom I never met face to face, but I delivered to them. We were dropping off food at people's front porches, knocking on the door and going to the car. And so there are people who I probably delivered to once or twice a week. I never met them. but I chatted with them on Facebook groups. On the Facebook group, I had, they might have called the restaurant to clarify something on an order, but it really created a community, not just of like people just spamming with their stuff, but people actually helping each other.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Hops and Shine and the type of food and beverage that you have there. I would like to talk about your wings, but first, let's just get an overall view of Hops and Shine.
So Hops and Shine, as the name might give away, we are a craft beer and moonshine restaurant. Our primary meals, though, are grilled cheese sandwiches and wings. We do tots and fries. Essentially, the food that goes really well with beer and alcoholic beverages. Yeah. We also do have a very extensive whiskey list as well, over 120 whiskeys there. But yeah, our primary product, we have 52 different beers on draft, and at the moment, 75 different beers in can and bottle. Wow. We're slimming those down right now because we've actually seen a very big increase in on-premise consumption versus carryout consumption in the past month. But yeah, you can get over 120 different beers there right now.
That's incredible.
And how long have you been there?
So we opened in January of 2019. Okay. So we got 1 year under our belt before all of this hit. We celebrated our 1 year anniversary party and then started seeing the world change.
Shut down.
So yeah, I mean, our 2 year anniversary party, we didn't really do anything. We're planning our 2.5 year anniversary party. So it seems like we might actually be able to do it in person. So
that's nice. Where are you located?
So we are in the northernmost point of Delray. So over kind of intersection of Chiralagua, Arlandria, and Delray, right on Mount Vernon Avenue.
Okay. And how has your relationship with Mary grown through this? Did you guys know each other before the Facebook group?
There might have been 1 or 2 conversations on advertising and stuff like that, but it's actually become a great relationship. We've done like a collaboration on book club things with different cocktails and food items.
That's cool.
Yeah, I actually had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah. We'll do it again too.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely. So things like that, with that collaboration on that, where she's like, and I'm not sure if you can do this cocktail for us, but I've talked to folks who said they loved that cocktail, and any challenge is always a fun thing to do.
And you have a marketing background, so you were instrumental in kind of helping Mary at the beginning when some of the, what did you call it, trolling was starting.
I was going to say, CJ to me, I didn't even know CJ, but I felt like he was like my big brother on the whole thing, because I'm rolling along and, I've got other things going on. I mean, I have a newspaper that we put out and we have lots of other things. And this curbside thing was like, okay, let's see what happens to it. And so it was kind of life of its own. And one time there was this troll situation. It was really bad. And I was gone for like the whole day. And I didn't have like a whole team of people, I still don't, who help with this thing. It's just me and somebody else that's kind of monitor. And then, like I said, the community. But this one thing went bad, and it was a negative situation, and it blew up. There was a guest moderator on Curbside, and things started going in the wrong direction, like blocking people and this kind of thing. And I got back 11 o'clock at night, and my phone was blowing up, and it was like, oh my God, you've got trouble in Curbside. You've got trouble in Curbside. And I was like, I didn't even know that this could happen. The next thing I know, I go online and there's all these people who are mad, and I'm texting, and then enter CJ, and he goes, well, you can get through this. And he helped me get through it. And he said, it's not that Mary's fault. It's not the Curbside fault. It's this and that. He said, you're going to have to make this approval only, post approval only. And I really kind of bucked it for like 6 hours. As the posts were piling up, because I thought, oh my God, I'm going to have to approve every one of these posts. And we get between 800 and 1,200 posts a month. And every one of those gets approved. And it was the right thing to do, because as soon as that happened, it was just like the house had been cleaned and vacuumed, and it has never had a stain again. I don't think.
I mean, she reached out to me about that. I'm not sure if I reached out to you about it.
You went on. Made a video.
Oh yeah, I did a video on it. And I saw several other groups, an Arlington group. I think there was a second Alexandria group that you weren't involved with, and they just went to the point where the moderators just put their arms up and said, "I give up," and they deleted the groups.
Oh, wow.
And so Curbside, I mean, and you know, I have a marketing background. I also have a digital media background, and so I was in groups in Fairfax and Reston and all that stuff just to see what they were doing, and see, hey, is this restaurant doing it this way? Let me see if I can do that here. And none of the groups ever got together the way that the Alexandria Curbside group did. It was, I mean, I actually had other restaurant owners and managers message me, "Hey, I see what you're doing on there. I really love it. Can you give me a hand?"
Yeah.
And so I was going, having phone calls with them. Hey, here's what you do. Always, don't just blast your restaurant. Actually provide feedback.
Mhm.
Interaction.
Yeah, exactly. It can't be one-sided.
Right.
And that's one of the big things about the Curbside group is it's not one-sided.
Well, it's a community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I was going to say, CJ, another reason that I love him is because he promotes the other restaurants while he's in there. And so like he and his wife went for their anniversary and he posted pictures of Cafe 44.
Yep.
And he took his kids to pizza at Peace Out, which had just opened up. He gave them a shout out with the pictures. That's the key. And other restaurants, Jula Jane does the same thing. And other restaurants, the Louis over at the Royal is doing the same thing. He was giving shouts out to Vasso's this morning. And that is key, is that cross-promotional stuff.
Well, and as a utilizer, I noticed that.
Yeah.
I notice kind of what the intention of the restaurant owner or the business owner is. And speaking of interaction and engagement, we just want to remind you that since it's live, if you post in the comments any of your experiences with Alexandria Curbside Dining or any of the restaurants or small businesses that you have found, discovered, love, we want to hear about it because this is the process of building the community. So CJ, thank you so much. Can you please hand our mic to Tom? Mr. Tom. Tom, thank you so much for waiting patiently and for bringing us food, which CJ, note to self.
That was our fault. Take a look at this.
CJ said that he didn't realize that he was supposed to bring
It's probably my
beer.
fault.
I would have brought beer.
He will.
Mary Beth never assumes anything. She goes for. She's on the go.
We
That's why that name on the go. It's
Right.
just not casual on the go. Mary Beth.
Mhm.
She is on the go.
So Tom, please tell us about Mary Beth MB on the Go, which started off as a bakery, but now you are a delivery service.
Yeah, that's part of it. We're still a bakery. We've been a wholesale bakery for 30 years. Wow. We have 30 people that work there. And another thing is they're still working there. No one has been laid off this whole time. They get full pay,
Oh,
full
that's
benefits.
incredible.
We've gotten PPP loans,
Hold
two
it
of them,
closer.
and we're using some of our retirement funds
for them also. So we because of the virus, we lost like 95% of our business, which are hotels. So Mary Beth came up with On the Go site and started that. And so we deliver to anyone in Alexandria, and people pick it up at the shop also. I'm there every day dealing with all the customers. And you can also have your delivery picked up at the farmer's market in Old Town. That's where she started 30 years ago. And she's still there every day. Right. I've known her, we've been married for about 20 years now. And there's only like 2 times that we didn't make it.
Wow.
They canceled it because of snow. And we were in LA or something. We're on vacation for something, But she's there, every Saturday.
Well, MB Bakery has been a huge part.
to the shop every day.
They do their pickups. And they look unfamiliar. I said, "How did you find out about us?"
95% of them for the first time is Curbside Bakery. They said, I typed in bakery and they found the bakery. And you guys have been great. Debbie from the Zebra comes by, did an article on us, and she comes by and you guys are so helpful. And
we're all very grateful for all that.
Want to help the whole community.
Oh yeah.
You guys, we thought it would be good to come on because both of these restaurants use curbside as they post themselves, and restaurants are encouraged to do that.
Yes.
As long as it's not over the top.
Spamming, as I
yeah,
believe CJ
you
called
know,
it.
once a day, 3 times a week, something like that, but not 4 times a day.
And what kind of information are restaurants encouraged to post?
Well, anything. When CJ's got a brisket he wants to sell, he puts it up there, right?
Yep.
And you guys.
And Mary Beth, I believe, she'll do a post maybe every couple of days or so.
That's right.
Some new items we're doing. Maybe it could be a new Pop-Tart.
Right.
It could be the new cookies of the week.
Right.
She changes the cookie designs every week. They're all hand cut, hand decorated.
They're
We have
beautiful.
these decorators that just blow you away.
How many people do you have working
We
in
have
that?
30 people still.
Yeah, right.
No one has been laid off.
That's amazing.
Where is the bakery located,
We're
Tom?
with all the dogs.
What?
We're with all the dogs.
Oh, you're over there.
We're on
Right,
Colvin Street.
right, Colvin Street.
There's all kinds of dog shampoo, dog therapy, dog this, dog that. You can shampoo, all.
Do you make dog cookies?
If you want dog cookies, we can. We'll make them. But there'll be sugar cookies.
Yeah.
We don't do any dog biscuits.
No
yet.
dog
Not
biscuits.
dog
Got
biscuits
it.
yet.
All right, we do have some comments here from Lucille. She says, Hops and Shine has vegan grilled cheese.
Yes, we do.
Awesome, good to know.
And Tom, you all do a lot of gluten-free baking, right?
No, we don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I saw a post at some point that you guys had.
But we have been doing a lot of savory dishes.
Oh, okay.
So we do 4 different pizza doughs. You can come pick up 4 different
that's good to
pizza
know.
doughs. We do a pizza kit. We do chicken and biscuits, and we have a vegetarian option, which is pinto beans with a southwestern spices. We just started baked Zita this
I
week.
saw that this morning.
And that's her new post. I think I saw that today. We do chicken noodle soup. We roast the chicken at the shop. We make the stock at the shop. Everything's made there.
Right.
And it's all pickup or
delivered.
And if I went to order some of these delicious things for my kids on a Saturday morning, do I order them on the website?
We will have cookies. We have a ton of stuff at the bakery: pies, cookies,
Okay.
Danish croissants, muffins,
How do I order them?
and those you can come to the market or you go on and be on the go
Okay,
on her website
okay,
and order before 4 o'clock.
The day
Probably
before.
The day before, we'll have it for you.
awesome, okay.
They make cookie kits for kids too.
Cookie
They can
kits.
decorate their
Oh,
own.
Right.
That's a big hit.
At Christmas time, schools would order hundreds of them.
Mhm,
And there would be a box of maybe 15 different cookies,
mhm.
all holiday related, and 3-4 little bags of icing, and then sprinkles of many types. We started that in November and just went nuts.
Right.
And Christmas, and then Easter, St. Patrick's Day, 4th of July. We'll have some very cool things coming up. Mother's Day.
Oh, yeah.
They look great, and plus they taste good.
So I'm going to go mobile and get closer to a camera.
Okay.
The Pop-Tarts have intrigued me since I
Came
became a member
Me too.
of the group. And
The Pop-Tarts are very, very popular.
I'm going to just tilt. Look. Here we go. So the Pop-Tarts are homemade. Do you know what for you brought today?
Yes.
Without looking. It's a quiz.
This is cookies and cream. This one's peanut butter and chocolate. This is peach and blueberry. And this is wild berry with fruity pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles are on top of this
Exactly, yeah,
Pop-Tart.
right.
I
Well,
hope my kids are watching this right now.
we need to attract some attention too, right?
Yeah.
You don't,
So
They're so cool.
Period.
They're so cool.
we make a joke in the grocery all the time when my kids will slowly stop and look at the Pop-Tart aisle. And my husband and I will say, that is trash. We will never buy you Pop-Tarts. I will buy
that is
those
a-
Pop-Tarts
that is
in
a
a hot
toaster
second.
pastry.
even though we're the owners, co-owners, let's say, Mary Beth is, I never get sick of them.
Oh.
And I call them Major League Pop-Tarts.
Nice.
Yes.
These are not minor league Pop-Tarts.
Do you eat them for breakfast or dessert?
For breakfast, lunch, or dinner. You know, once you start, you cannot stop. There are people come to. There is one customer that would come to the farmers market on Saturday morning, and normally we have maybe 6 or 7 different ones. You know, and he would say he wouldn't even look at them, and he would say, "I want 2 of everyone, 2 of everyone," and just pack them up.
Wow.
You know,
There you go.
I mean, you know, you'll taste one afterwards, and they're delicious.
Oh, yes, I will.
So
We also on our savory menu we have quiche.
We have
We have 4 different quiches, right? We use Pop-Tart dough. We normally would make it with pie dough, you know, and so Mary Beth said, let's try it with Pop-Tart dough and the regular dough. So a few of us tested them. Mary Beth said Pop-Tart dough.
Nice.
I should get a job at a bakery.
I don't think that would be good for our
Focus on health right now. I feel like that is like,
I mean,
I know where my limits are.
okay, so a couple of other favorite restaurants that have been contributed, thank you, Grace, are the Royal Restaurant in Old Town North, in RT's on Mount Vernon. Yep.
And
Whiskey and oysters. They're regular. We have. I think I checked earlier. There's about 145 members who are actual businesses.
Okay.
And like I said, the restaurants and the other thing is some restaurants are kind of shy to post, but we do encourage it. So.
Well, this is the way of the future.
Yeah.
Right.
And the shift that had to occur during a
Global
hopefully
pandemic.
once in a lifetime event. Someone wants to point out that close to home, they mean close to our homes. We live in 22308 and 22306 is that they found specifically because of the Facebook group is Bun Papa in the Bread and Water Company, which is a pop-up that has, I have talked about that a lot. I am a fan, and they just they have a chicken fried cauliflower sandwich, which I have not eaten yet. And if you listen to the podcast, well, it's chicken fried. Do you know what chicken fried is?
Like chicken fried steak, but
Chicken fried
cauliflower.
It's like deep fried. It's breaded and deep fried. And as you know, I have a relationship with wings, and I have a relationship with cauliflower. So that is a recommendation from somebody. Do you have something
And
else?
also, sorry.
Can we visit the bakery?
Sure.
Yeah.
We're
Okay.
open every day. Excuse me, from 7 to 5
Okay.
For pickup orders.
Okay.
And
So you can just walk right in
you
and
can
be
walk
like,
in. On
give
the
me all
right-hand
the free
side,
cups.
all the people's things that you picked up are there. On the
Okay.
left-hand side, we have cookies of the week. We have Pop-Tarts. We have different pies.
Okay.
We'll have decorating kits, you know, at that particular time of the holiday.
Should we talk about
have
Cinnablobs?
Oh, yeah.
Cinnablob.
I
Yes.
have a feeling that's what
Those
Debbie goes
are
and
real
gets.
popular.
Yeah.
Those at the farmers market, when we run out and people don't get there early enough, they're ready to sprinkle us, you know.
The
But
Cinnablob.
So
Yeah.
the Cinnablob is
First of all,
all our
that's
made up of a croissant dough and a Danish dough, which we make in-house every day. And both of those doughs are made with all butter. Okay. Employees.
How are you so skinny?
Oh, Mary Beth has me working all the time. So the top thing on our menu is employees. The second most expensive thing is butter. So we buy it by the pallet, you know.
I bet you do.
And so
You buy cheese.
Yeah.
And
and
beer.
Wait,
so
Tom,
the
whoa.
Cinnablob is made up of scraps of Danish dough and croissant dough. It's rolled in cinnamon sugar and packed into a muffin tin. It's baked off, and it's caramelizes, and they're crunchy on the outside and soft inside. Just pull them apart,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
they're
seriously.
just, you know, they can be sitting around for outside for a bit. They're good. They're just, you know,
Delicious.
throw them in the oven for a bit with coffee, espresso. You're in heaven.
Tom, I need to talk to CJ about wings before we wrap. Before we wrap up the show, Lainey gave us but before we wrap up, we need to talk about Chimichurri Wings. I do consider myself a wing connoisseur. I can use wing bones as hair accessories when I'm done because that is what I do to wings. These Chimichurri Wings are incredible. What's the story behind those?
So that recipe actually comes from college. But one of my roommates, my sophomore and junior year of college, he's from Argentina, and he made chimichurri sauce for steaks. And now it's not his recipe, but that's when I learned about chimichurri. And so I kept on working on it. Mine got a little spicier than his did. His was more bland. I did a little more jalapenos in there. But I kind of fell in love with chimichurri sauce, and normally it goes on steak, but it goes really well on wings. And we have a couple of our customers who are religiously in there once a week. They'll get half chimichurri and half spicy Parmesan garlic, or the mango habanero, and it's just a recipe that I've fallen in love with, and I still put it on my steaks, but now I also get them on wings.
I have also fallen in love with them. And the next time we have both of you on, I'm requesting Cinnablobs.
Yeah.
Bring those, put that on the list, and you need to bring some chimichurri wings.
And I'll
There
bring
you
some
go.
here too.
Oh,
you go.
good. Thank you both so much.
Thank you very
We really
much for having
appreciate
us.
you coming. And Mary, thank you so much for taking such good care of Alexandria.
Wow.
The zebra is the gift that keeps on giving. It is practically an all volunteer led
Yeah,
newspaper at this point.
I just want to mention that inside we have a massive food section as well. So every single month, our advertisers are here, and then we've got reviews and spotlights on the different. So we keep feeding content to the group and to
Feed
the
the
community.
beast. Feed the beast.
Right.
I was just going to plug the rest of the shows.
Yes.
That
Thank you.
CTV is airing on a regular basis.
Coming up.
Yep.
Tomorrow is Legal Matters with Paul Dean, and he is going to be talking about the difference between a trust and a will. And then Thursday is Trash or Treasure with Monica Schiavo. And next month, we will be back celebrating 100 episodes of We Should Talk About That, the podcast that we have.
Awesome.
Please always
Congratulations.
listen to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, as always, thank you so much for coming, joining us, and how about you be the good news in someone's life?